Welcome to this explainer. Okay, picture this. You're walking through your herd first thing in the morning. The cows are standing normally, nobody looks visibly sick, and milk production seems totally fine. But one cow is just a little bit different. She's visiting the feed bunk a little less, resting differently, and crucially, she's spending way less time chewing her cud. Today, we are diving deep into the mystery of why cows stop chewing their cud. It turns out, this perfectly normal-looking cow is actually hiding a silent health threat. And catching this drop in rumination? Well, it's a massive opportunity to step in early. Let's get right into it.
So you spot this subtle shift. The very first question that pops up is, should we just wait until she actually looks sick? You know, traditionally, monitoring a herd has always been about visual observation or waiting for the milk yield to drop. But here's the catch. A lot of these diseases start completely silently. If we wait for the really obvious stuff, like a huge drop in milk, abnormal posture, or when she stops eating altogether, the disease has already got a massive head start. The real challenge we're tackling today is figuring out if we can spot a cow in trouble long before it becomes glaringly obvious to the naked eye.
Part 1. The biological clue.
What we really want is that absolute earliest warning signal. And science points straight to a drop in rumination time. You see, a cow's behavior almost always shifts before her production does. Rumination isn't just a simple habit. It's practically a window directly into her overall health. It reflects this whole chain of physiological processes. Actually, think of it more like a massive dashboard indicating her feed intake, rumen function, fiber digestion, and buffering capacity. A healthy cow has a very rhythmic, stable pattern of chewing her cud. So when that pattern breaks, it's a huge biological red flag that something inside is going wrong.
But why exactly does she stop? Well, it comes down to basic biology. A cow will always prioritize her essential survival functions over digestion if she's dealing with pain or sickness. Think about it. Eating and ruminating take a ton of energy and physical movement. When she's facing inflammation or a metabolic issue, her survival instincts just completely take over. Her body basically says, hold on, we need to conserve all our energy to fight this off. And it shuts down those heavy digestive behaviors. It's literally an evolutionary defense mechanism kicking in way before she looks sick to us.
Part 2. The suspects.
All right, so we know why the machinery shuts down, but what exactly is triggering that survival instinct? Let's take a look at the usual suspects, and you'll see how directly the symptom connects to the actual disease. First up, ketosis. This throws her into a negative energy balance, which absolutely tanks her appetite. Then you have metritis. The fever and inflammation from that simply kill her desire to eat. What about lameness? Well, if her feet hurt, she's not going to walk over to the feed bunk, which means less food and therefore less rumination. Even environmental stuff like severe heat stress causes her to stand and pant instead of resting and chewing. For every single one of these suspects, the drop in rumination usually happens before a vet even makes a clinical diagnosis.
Now, you might be asking, when are cows the most vulnerable to these issues? The magic number to remember here is 3. The absolute highest risk window for a dairy cow is the transition period. We're talking exactly 3 weeks before and 3 weeks after calving. This 6-week window is wild. Her body is going through massive and tense changes, huge nutrient demands, sudden immune dips, metabolic stress, you name it. Keeping a super close eye on her rumination during these specific 3 weeks before and after calving gives you the absolute best chance to intervene early.
Part 3. The investigation protocols.
Okay, we've got our biological clue, we know our suspects, and we know when they usually strike. So how do we actually use this out in the barn? I like to think of a drop in rumination like a flashing check engine light. It means investigate, not panic. Here's the game plan. Step 1, make sure the change is real. Don't jump at a single weird reading. Ask yourself, is this a sudden, hours-long drop, or is she just naturally a low-ruminating cow? Step 2, physically check the cow. Take her temp, check her rumen fill, her udder, see how she walks. But don't stop there. Step 3 is absolutely crucial. Review the environment. Has the forage changed? Is the water clean? Are the pens overcrowded? You've got to zoom out and look at the whole picture.
To make this super practical, you basically scale your response based on what you're seeing. Just a small, temporary blip in chewing, your action is easy. Just keep monitoring her. But if you get a sudden, massive drop off a cliff, you need to get in there and examine that cow. Now, if she has reduced rumination plus a fever, that's a whole different ballgame. Call the vet for an assessment. And what if you notice multiple cows are all dropping their rumination at the same time? That's a huge clue that it's not an individual sickness, it's a management or environmental issue, and you need to review your herd protocols.
Part 4. The future forensic tools. This brings us to where farming is headed, and it is a complete game changer.
Technology is literally transforming how we investigate these health issues. Think about the reactive model we mostly use today. Uh-oh, the cow is sick. What do? We're basically playing catch-up. But the proactive model of tomorrow completely flips the script. It asks, hey, based on her behavior, this cow is likely to get sick soon. How do we prevent it? By tracking these behavioral clues, we are moving from just detecting disease after the fact to predicting it before it even takes hold.
So how are we actually pulling off this kind of prediction? It's all about an interconnected ecosystem of tech. We've got wearable sensors tracking rumination and activity 24/7. We're feeding that data straight into AI systems that are trained to spot abnormal patterns and calculate disease risk for each specific cow. We even have computer vision cameras monitoring how they walk and stand in real time. Combine all of that with weather data, milk records, and health histories, and you get the full picture. We aren't just relying on one data point anymore, we're using the whole shebang to tell the complete story of the animal.
But, and this is a really big but, amidst all these incredible sensors and AI, we have to remember one fundamental truth. Technology supports observation. It does not replace stockmanship. A drop in rumination is an awesome early warning signal, for sure, but it isn't a final diagnosis. These tools still absolutely rely on human expertise, intuition, and that classic farming knowledge to actually interpret the data and make the right call. The real magic happens when you combine this high-tech continuous monitoring with unparalleled human experience.
Which brings us to the end of this explainer, and I want to leave you with something to chew on, pun intended. Based on everything we've talked about today and your own experience, what is the absolute earliest sign you notice when a cow is getting sick? Is it a drop in eating, reduced rumination, a dip in milk, or just a general change in behavior? Think about how you monitor your own herd and how looking out for that hidden warning sign of stopped cud chewing might completely change your approach to animal health. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep observing, and I'll catch you next time.